What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Patrick and this is Valor Aquaponics. Now I know it's been like a month since I've made a video and I have a pretty good excuse. So with my full-time job I actually had to change my schedule a little bit. So I actually go in later and then I work later. So I'm not getting home till like 3:30 in the morning now. So it's kind of throwing off my schedule. And then this last week I got food poisoning. So it's okay, it's not from a restaurant, so no need to worry about that. But yeah, it's just been really crazy. We've been busy here. So yeah, there's been a lot going on and there's been quite a few updates that we haven't shown you guys in like a month. So this video, I'm gonna try to keep it short. I say that all the time, but it always ends up being like 30 minutes, but I'll try very hard not to make it 30 minutes. So let's go for 15, and hopefully you guys watch the whole 15. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get caught up and let's get started. Alright, so we're gonna start off here in the warehouse. So this is our main bed. This was our original lettuce. The problem that we have are the lights. It's not the lights themselves, it's the height. So when we grew these early on, they got stringy like this. So then they have really long stems, and this is what ends up happening is this. So this is just going to be end up organic compost and also food for our tilapia. So no plans on selling any of this, but we do have some new stuff growing. Edward actually brought over his trout. Apparently he got tired of taking care of it at home, so he brought him here. So this is about 200 I think, rainbow trout. They're about 4 inches, I would say. On average, they're about 4 inches. These are kind of the smaller ones. And then we actually had to set up this tank because we have a slight issue in the big tank, and I'll show you guys that. You're not gonna be, I doubt you guys are gonna be able to see. Oh, I think you guys can see some. So these are some of the guys from the main tank. So it's not all of them. It's not even close to all of them. It's not even half of them. So it's just a small portion of them. We put them in here because we have a slight issue, and that is our water quality. So we've actually had a spike in nitrites because of this water, and as you can tell, let me go around all this stuff here, you can't even see the fish. So a lot of this had to do with the food that we were using. We were using non-organic food, which I'll talk about in a second, but it actually looks a lot better on camera than it does in person. It actually lightens up on camera, but man, in person it looks terrible, and it has a little bit of a smell. So what I'm doing right now is I'm actually draining some of this out. So my goal is to drain out about 1,000 gallons of this and then fill it back up, and hopefully that'll help with some of the water. The other issue that we're having is filtration. So one thing that we ended up doing is we ended up replacing the pump that was in there. So the pump we had in there, fantastic pump, can't say anything bad about it, except for it was just a little too much for what we were doing. So so we went with a smaller volume pump. That way our solids tank can do a better job separating. So hopefully next time you guys see this tank, it'll look a lot better than this. We're a little disappointed at how quickly the water deteriorated, and with the nitrite spiking, and I think we've lost somewhere around 50 to 100 trout in the last, I would say in the last month. We've lost about 100 trout, maybe a little less, but right around there. And we realized that it was nitrite poisoning. So doing our best, there's always mistakes. This is the problem when you have a small facility with limited funds. So we don't have you know, we don't have the funding as some of these bigger places. So what we would like to do if we had the funding is to put in a filtration system strictly for this, and not that sand filter that we bought, which I don't know if you guys, I even showed you guys, but yeah, we want to put in a better filtration. We have a deal with AST filters. They make beet filters, and we're actually one of their authorized distributors or retailers. So we would love to incorporate at least one of their filters just on this pond here, so we can have this thing become crystal clear again. So we're going to be working on that. Hopefully some things come through. I'll talk about that in a minute. I'll show you guys this. I'm not sure if I showed you guys this, but we started moving the germination room to out here because it's just easier. Let me move some of this stuff out of the way. It's kind of a mess. So we moved the system out here and we changed it up a little bit. So, you know, we put the tank down here like we did before, but there's no lights down here. We just figured we'll just leave these guys do their thing. There's plenty of lights when we're here. So yeah, they're doing well. These are, that's the big male right there, right in the center of the screen, and I think there's one other male and 2 females in there. So these guys are doing pretty well. And then we changed out our grow plugs. I'll explain that. Actually, I'll explain that in another video. I have to do a video on that. It's not to bash the company. It's to it's because of something that happened for us that was actually a good thing. So you remember how I was saying that, you know, when the lights are too high it gets so stringy? Well, we did things a little bit differently. So we took these grow lights, we put them on these adjustable hangers, and look at this lettuce. Heck of a lot better. So much better. So this is tricolor romaine that we're growing right here. And this is Jiffy pots. So these are J7 Jiffy pots. They are organic. They are certified organic, actually, and they do pretty well. We're gonna see how well they last in terms of if this netting on the outside breaks down and all this cocoa peat or whatever it is in there gets into our system. But I mean, our lettuce is doing well. This is gonna actually have to move into our main system probably in a couple days. So hence why I have these wraps just kind of sitting around. So I have to actually cut them out for the bigger plugs. We're actually going with the smaller plugs here, and we actually have we have 4 cases of them. So that way we don't have to drill out any more holes or make them bigger. But we tried these too, so got to get rid of those. We have basil down here, so we have quite a bit of basil growing. So that's going well. Let me take you over. So we still have all this up here. We have basil up here. Basil's doing well. We have some arugula, some, I believe that's parsley. So I'm not sure if we're gonna sell the arugula. And then we'll show you guys what's kind of happening over here at the pepper and cucumber bed. So the fish, we lost a couple fish. They jumped out. They didn't die actually in the pool because we actually cycled this pond prior to. So everybody that's been in here is actually doing really well. They're trying to, you can kind of see them swimming around. Let me see if I can. So you can see them right there. They're still a little skittish. They're getting a little better, but they're still pretty skittish. They're pretty small still. So, but you know, it's kind of nice to see them get out, you know, come out of the shell a little bit more. And then we have, what is it, jalapenos, and then bell pepper, and then cherry tomatoes, which that's a whole nother train wreck, and then cucumbers, which has been another train wreck. And so 2 mistakes we made. Density, we have way too many cucumbers for this amount of space, which we kind of figured might happen. The other thing is, what I'm thinking is the lights. So these lights are great for leafy greens. They don't seem to be doing very well for any vegetables that bear fruit. So, and by fruit I mean like jalapenos or cucumbers or things like that. So I mean, they're growing, but they're not growing as well. So actually we have some different lights coming in. This bed is just, this bed It was a massacre. So once again, another density issue. We actually cut down quite a few. That's why it looks like a mess. It is a mess. But we do have quite a bit of peppers, or not peppers, heirloom tomatoes, plants that are growing. So we're not quite ready to give up just yet. We're gonna probably give it a little bit longer, and then we'll just see what happens. The biggest addition is actually, oh here, let me see if I can get these guys in. So here are the koi. These are the biggest koi we have. So they're actually about anywhere between 6 to 8 inches. Really chunky. They eat a lot. They're like the goats of our farm. They eat everything, and so they're still a little skittish, but not. I mean, they know me, so they tend to be nice. As it gets all blurry. Okay, so this is another thing. So we actually had to trim this down as well. So once again, density was really high, and then we got then we kind of freaked out because we haven't been getting any tomatoes yet, and I mean it's been a while. So then so Edward did some research, and he thought it was the density issue, and then and I mean we're giving these certified organic nutrients, so you know, like potassium and iron and calcium. So we do give those on a regular basis, but then I realized that it's probably not the nutrients. I mean, the nutrients is a part of it, but then I realized the biggest thing is probably the lights. So right now we're test driving 3 different sets of lights. So up here, we still have the green, the grow lights up here, but then we have, these are GE BR30 LED bulbs. They're grow lights, the grow bulbs, but it's just some cheap can lights, or yeah, can lights that we got from Home Depot. We have LED lights that I bought last year. That was, I forgot what brand that was, but that one's actually pretty good too. It's pretty bright. And then this is a light that we just got today from, I don't want to say they're a sponsor. Are they a sponsor? I'm not sure, because I mean they're not giving us money. They're having us test their light, and that's actually going to be in another video that I hope to post tomorrow. So if you guys, so I don't want to talk too much about that, but yeah, we have that going on. So that's going to be a weekly video. Probably less of these updates and probably more of stuff like that. So that's going to be a video that's going to be posted up hopefully tomorrow. I already have most of it taped, so I just have to edit it. So hopefully it'll be up tomorrow. But the reason why we're thinking it's lights, because as soon as, it's been a couple days since we've introduced these lights, we've already got flowers growing. So we've got, there's a flower growing up here. I don't know if I can zoom in far enough. I don't know if you guys can see. We've got a flower like right there. So right in the middle of the screen there, and then we've got flower growing back there. We've got flowers starting to bud up everywhere. So we realized it's actually the lighting. These purple lights are great for having them grow vertically, but they're not great for flowering. That's one thing that we realized, and we're thinking that this is the problem that we're having over at these beds. So we might have to switch out all these lights, but it's going to come down to money, and I'll talk about that in a second. So so yeah, we're testing. These are actually going to probably get replaced with different lights that I have on order, that I purchased. So hopefully, so we can really do a nice trial run. But yeah, I mean, hopefully we start getting some tomatoes in the next week or two, and hopefully by the end of the month we'll actually have enough to sell. So let me take you into the showroom, because that's really the last place that we have the biggest change. So I don't know if I showed you guys the aquarium since we redid it. So this is our aquarium. I think I showed the video where I redecorated it, but I don't think I showed you guys with all the new fish. So we have a bunch of tiger barbs. We have rainbow killfish. We have Danios. They look like little trout, miniature rainbow trout. So we have the gouramis. We have the dwarf gouramis. We have 2 kinds. We have the blue. We have like this fire one. I mean, these are beautiful. So we've lost a couple, but for the most part they're all doing really well. We haven't lost any more catfish, I know that some of them are getting old, but we bought a couple more. And then we have a small pleco in here, which I can't even find. I don't know where it hides, but it does a very good job of hiding. But yeah, I mean, we're really happy with this aquarium now because it's a community aquarium. These guys do like to spread out. Right now they're all hungry, and that's why they're all hanging right there, because that's usually where I feed them, and they know me apparently. So anytime I walk in the room, that's where they go. So usually, you know, we have the gouramis over here kind of swimming along, and the rainbow fish are kind of like right in the middle. The Daniels are on top, and then the tiger barbs are just kind of swimming all over. So it's kind of nice where it fills out the whole aquarium. It's really nice to just sit here and watch them. We had the koi in here, which they didn't belong in here. So water's a little orange from the wood. I can't believe that this wood is still giving off tannin, even after we boiled it and everything. So it's still giving off tannin. Nothing I can really do, just gotta let it do its thing. So really happy with that aquarium. And then we've got, like I said, we've got the Jiffy pots here. So let me put the camera down here. Give me a second, let me put the camera down and get things rearranged. All right, that's better. So yeah, I mean, quite a bit's happened, as you guys can see. So you know, what's next? I mean, so actually, let me give me 1 second here. Let me show you guys this. This is big. I almost forgot to show you guys this, but we've got this. I don't know if you guys can see that, but what that means is that we are a certified organic farm. So MOSA is a certifying agency for the USDA. So since we have switched to the Jiffy pots, which are certified organic, and we're using certified seeds, and we're not using any pesticides, any nutrients that we use, even our pH balance is all certified organic. So since everything that we're doing is certified organic, we have received our organic certification. So we are now certified organic farmers. So that's the biggest thing. So yay for us. That took a long time. So we're really thankful for MOSA for working with us and helping us. We're really thankful for our inspector who was very nice to us, give us a lot of tips too. So we hope that since we have to do this inspection on a yearly basis, we hope that we get the same inspector every time. So so that's big news for us. So going forward, we have to make some adjustments to the tank. Like I said, I'm doing a water change today. Doing a partial water change today. We're going to have to do a couple water changes, and then we do need to get a better filtration set up just for the pool. But that comes down to money, and that's kind of where we're at too. Is we've kind of ran out of our loan money. So right now we're working with another agency to see if we can get an additional loan. We're also waiting on a couple grants that we applied for. One of them is a Wisconsin-based grant. Actually, both are based out of Wisconsin. One's an innovation grant, and one's through a basically like an investment group. So, and other than that, we haven't really heard anything from anybody else. So, it's kind of we haven't had any sales yet because we've had some setbacks with the tomatoes. But hopefully now that we've got the lighting situation figured out, hopefully now we'll actually have some tomatoes. So hopefully our goal is by the end of the month to actually start generating revenue, because those like 6 rafts of lettuce will be ready to go. It's probably about more like 5 rafts of lettuce will be ready to go by the end of the month, along with the tomatoes. Well, we should be able to have some tomatoes, maybe a couple dozen, available for sale. So we want to start generating some revenue because Lord knows we need it. But we're really hoping that something comes through for us financially to help us. Because the pandemic's really hurt us quite a bit. It really set us back in terms of the timeline. I mean, we were supposed to get this thing started back up in May. We didn't get started till end of August, early September, and then by then, I mean, we were paying so much more money. I mean, the cost of wood skyrocketed. I think wood's like 4 times the price than what it normally is. So I mean, that cost us, probably thousands of dollars, at least we probably paid at least $5,000 more for all the wood. We probably paid a bunch of, God knows how much the stuff that we bought that got jacked up in price because of the pandemic. So unfortunately, that's the world we live in right now. So we try to make the best of it. So that, I mean, we're trying our best here. We're hoping that something comes through. It is the middle of November. We're hoping that over the course of the next week or two that we get some good news. So have some good thoughts, pray, whatever it is that you guys do. Anything would be greatly appreciated. Happy thoughts. So that's kind of where we're at. We have been talking about what would happen going into the new year. So we are looking at doing some changes in terms of what we're going to be growing. So hopefully, we're still talking about yellow perch, and we actually kind of sat down. We're like, we probably should have started off with yellow perch because rainbow trout is actually one of the hardest fish to grow or to raise in the farm. They're just so sensitive, and I mean, yellow perch is a lot easier. I mean, we don't want to. We talked about doing tilapia, but tilapia, there's just really no market for tilapia, at least here in Wisconsin. I mean, we would get pennies on the dollar for it. I mean, they'd be easy. It would make our lives a lot easier, but because I mean, they're hard to kill. So, but at the same time, we also want to be able to market the fish. I mean, that's half our business. So we wanted to have an attractive fish, and we should have gone with yellow perch. Hindsight being 2020. But I mean, we're here. We have the trout. We're trying to do our best to keep them alive. They are growing, so I mean, they've grown quite a bit, at least a couple inches. So they're doing well as they can. So we're going to do our best to make life easier until we get some funding, and then we can make some slight changes to our system. And then going forward, we're for any of the new additions to our farm, we call it the farm, is we're actually going to be including separate filtration for our fish no matter what happens. So we're just going to have to do that. And whether or not we build our own pools, whatever, that's stuff that we're kind of working through. So we really appreciate your support. I don't know if you guys like this shirt, but this is actually now up on our website. So if you guys want to sell, if you guys want to buy one of these, great. Always helps us out. A thumbs up and a comment really helps us out too, because right now we're not monetized on Facebook right now, just because we don't have the hours. We're still fairly new. We're about a year old actually since I started. Before we were even a business, I was starting. So we're actually technically we're only like 6 months really serious into doing these videos. So we're not very popular right now, but hopefully things pick up, and hopefully you guys start sharing. Like I said, we're going to be doing the video series on the light, and then I'm going to be doing another video on the grow plugs, just kind of explaining what happened, and just kind of watch out for anyone that wants to do aquaponics and wants to do it organically. So hopefully this video is not too long, but it's been a month, so you guys got to forgive me a little bit. There was a lot to talk about. So hopefully things look better. Hopefully we have better news by next week. I mean, not that we have terrible news this week or in this video, but hopefully things there's just so much out there that's going on right now. We have so many irons in the fire, as they say, and hopefully one of these irons really works out for us, and we're able to head into 2021 with a lot of promise, and we don't have to worry about money and things like that. So we really appreciate all the love and the support, and just remember to be the change that you wish to see in the world. We'll see you guys next time.